So I dropped this video right here, which has gotten a lot of conflicting views, right? And one of the most common questions that popped up was, or most common rebuttals was, didn't God sacrifice his own son? Isn't God just as bad? Didn't he sacrifice his own son? And the answer just may be more complex than you think. So first and foremost, we have to distinguish between God the Father and God the Son. And when you ask that question, didn't God offer his own son, it implies that God the Father was the one offering himself up, or offering Jesus up to be sacrificed, to be murdered, to be, brutally tortured or whatever. But that's just not the case. And if that was the case, that would give people the grounds to say, well, God offered himself up to himself to save us from himself. That's just not what the Bible teaches. So if that's not what happened, then what actually happened? Now, the Bible teaches that there is nothing that we can do to save us from our own sins. All sin is deserving of death. Now, you may ask, why is sin deserving of death? Well, because God is completely holy and perfect in all that he does, in all his ways. So if he is perfect, how can God be in the presence of sin without being disgusted by it, without being revolted by what sin is? So the penalty of sin is directly correlated to the nature of God, which cannot be changed. Now, here is the, here's the kicker. Here's what everybody wants to know. Jesus, seeing that and knowing that there is a requirement, there is a righteous requirement, willingly gave himself up as our substitute. He took our place and experienced the complete separation of God through death on the cross. Not only the physical torture, but the spiritual death of complete separation from God in our place. That's where the difference is. Jesus willingly gave himself up. It was atonement by substitution. That's what Jesus did for us. Knowing that as a man, he could die, but being 100% divine, his life would be sufficient to cover everybody's sins. That's the story of the gospel. There's nothing that we can do. God did not sacrifice his own son. He was not the one offering his son to himself. Jesus willingly took our place in human form to cover the sins of humanity. Jesus willingly gave himself up, knowing the consequence of sin, knowing that we couldn't pay it, and knowing that the consequence was death. Jesus offered himself in our place. So again, when we say God sacrificed his son, no, that's not what the Bible teaches. It teaches that Jesus gave himself up. He gave his life, and if he wanted to, he can take it up again. He said, "No one takes it from me. I give my own life in your place." Yeah. So yeah, that's the story of the gospel. Be blessed. Peace.